Hello, welcome back to the Chaotic Corp podcast. I'm your host, Tristan, joined by two guests from our last episode. I introduce Mr. Alpha Scorch.
Hi everyone, what's going on?
Yeah, that's a YouTube collaborator we've been collabing with for like a year now. And, of course, we have a returning guest from the last episode, Mr. Scott.
Hello, people of the internet. Hope you're all doing well today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just watched the second episode to season 1 of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. It might just be a one shot. I don't know why I'm saying season 1, but yeah.
Hopefully there is a season 2. I would like to see a season 2.
Perhaps. I mean, the story will go on anyway. You know, we're what, phase 5 or so.
4,
Seems
maybe?
like
I'm not
it.
sure.
I feel like
seems like it.
I feel like 4 was ended with Spider-Man Far From Home, which that technically was the ending to phase 4 or whatever the last phase was. But that was a weird choice. I thought it was gonna be technically the start of it. I don't know. It's just that's his perspective of the producers, so that's his own little thing. Let's get it onto this this episode. I loved this episode a lot. It really.
And remember, people, there are spoilers.
Oh yeah, my bad. My bad. The idea.
So feel free. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the idea is to watch the show, the episode, and then listen to this podcast. Or, if you don't mind spoilers, you could still stay. Don't understand you, but you're welcome to listen.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, diving into the show. We first see the new Captain America. What was his name, Scott? Because your theory was correct on this, so I want to give you that little spotlight.
Thank you. So, his name is John Walker. As I said in the last episode, he was a military soldier. Now, I believe I like the route they're going with him, saying that he was this Spec Ops guy who won 3 Medals of Honor. But I'm guessing, this is a little theory I'm going in with this guy, is that he is a fraud. That he didn't do any of those things he says all drummed up to make him look better. I also think that, and because of this, the evidence is, I think, within his first fight, he failed it, and either that or was just caught off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the same, I didn't think he was a fraud per se, which I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just not taking the credit for that little theory that you have. I feel like he's a bit too much into the glory. That he has these goals to be remembered as this person, that he didn't earn said medals, or maybe fraudulent said medals to be just a hero. He wanted to be known as a hero, but he didn't have the true virtues and values as a hero. Yeah, so basically he's just an attention whore.
And I'm glad.
that's just the only other way to put it.
Honestly, I am also glad they kept his sidekick, which kind of becomes his own Bucky. They did skip over him being the Super Patriot. They might do that later on, or they might just keep him as U.S. agent. What's interesting, is they never mention that he's U.S. agent. They just go straight into Captain America, which I also found interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you guys'?
They did share part of his past, he's got these Medal of Honors, he's got this and that, all that. But my whole thing is, when I was first watching it, I wanted to hate Walker, or Captain America, or the new Captain America, whatever. I wanted to hate him, but as time went on, I was I can't really hate this guy too much. Maybe he's an attention whore, but he's still, I don't know. I'm not
he's still a little. Yeah,
I'm not falling for the BS, but he's not too bad. And then he made
no, he's not.
Then he made one little comment to Bucky about how the super serum doesn't have a good history or track record, meaning that people who have had it, aside from Cap, have not been good people. And he said, he was sitting there saying, "Oh, no offense." I'm like, dude, you serious? This dude probably killed so many people. He's trying to get over it. He's got like mandatory therapy. And you're gonna sit here and be like, "Yo, people like you don't. They're not good people." No offense. I was like, at that point, maybe it was like a slip of a tongue. But at the same time, I was like, man, you shouldn't have said that. And then that one scene came around once he suggested they should work together, and Falcon basically told him to piss off. He was like, all right, just don't get in my way. I was like, yo, they're about to like throw it out with you. But at that point, I kind of like, that was the point that I wanted. I wanted to have something to dislike him for, you know?
Yeah.
And what's
interesting is because he actually becomes like this much more brutal version of Captain America in the comic books, and then they essentially have to like, U.S. government has to kind of like disown him. So it's a very interesting arc with him. So we might see that. Might see a very brutal version of Captain America.
He is slightly more brutal. He had, well, I don't know if slightly more brutal, but I feel like he had a handgun and he was using it. And
he did.
Yeah. Which, like, Captain America did do that, but that was back in World War II. You know?
Yeah.
That was
Captain America has reasons.
That was understood. But, like, when we see Captain America in the movies, aside from Captain America, the First Avenger, when he's literally in the middle of World War II, I don't think you ever really see him use a gun.
No, you never really do.
He's always been, you know... Maybe he's killed a few people. Maybe. But I don't think he's actually used a firearm.
No.
No. Like,
what are your...
like the only reason why he was using the firearm, because obviously it was in World War II. But now
that's what I mean.
His war is over. He doesn't feel the need to carry a firearm anymore. Only his shield.
Which, let's be honest with you, that shield's freaking deadly. All right, if you get hit in the chest with a vibranium frisbee, you're done. Your ribs are cracked. They're shattered.
You're done.
But I just feel like in like the cinematography, it has like a different feel that John Walker's carrying around a handgun and the shield than Captain America just carrying around his gun and beating the crap out of people and choking a freaking robot. Have y'all see that meme where he was like choking out Ultron? Even though Ultron doesn't have the need to freaking breathe.
Well, I mean, like that's just like old habits.
Oh, definitely.
He doesn't really care. Yeah,
definitely. I'm just saying.
Like his instincts didn't care.
I understand.
Like his instincts didn't care that he was a robot. Like he just said, "I'm just gonna put you in a headlock and try to snap your metal neck."
Yeah. See, like I understand where his instincts were. I'm just saying it's kind of funny the fact that he tried to choke a actual robot. I'm not saying it didn't make sense in the writing. I'm just saying it's just funny. But anyway, the whole episode was great. What was really surprising is that they went very specifically to Baltimore, Maryland. That's I love that. I was like, what? Because, like, for us, that's, like, you know, a familiar spot, you know? So, like, you know, for us, you know, well, I feel like for us, I feel like I'm talking for myself a little bit, but I feel like, you know, everyone in this podcast can agree that, you know, it was just like...
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it wasn't actually filmed in Baltimore, Maryland, but still, like, the fact that you see something that you've, you know, I don't know how to explain it.
It's like something you see that on TV that you actually recognize is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's like near you. It's like the same feeling when I found out that Bethesda was actually in Maryland. Like the game studios, for anyone that's like confused, thinking I'm actually talking about Bethesda, Maryland, which I am, but the actual game studios who made like Skyrim and all of that were actually in Maryland. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm in the same. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, my dad actually worked in like the same area where they were. It's like Silver Springs or it's like Silver Springs or like Rock area. It's like in that same area.
Ah.
Which I thought it's close to DC, but it's like right there.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to like see like I've seen like inside their building with like different models from games and all that, but that's its own thing. I'm getting sidetracked. Mm-hmm. I have ADHD.
Back to Captain.
But yeah, it was also funny seeing the relationship between Bucky and Sam, and the fact that they had to go through like couples counseling. Essentially, that was kind of funny. That was really funny. But that scene did serve like seriously. Like after she said, like the point after she said, "Don't say anything childish." That he's like, "Why'd you give up that shield?" And then everything just went into like they had a unique dialogue where you're able to see into the mindsets of both characters. Like you saw, like first you saw into Bucky, like. Dude, if he was wrong about Sam, being able to take the mantle, then he's probably wrong about me that I could be a good person. But then you go into Sam's mental state or whatever, and he's like, I just can't fill those shoes. It's just too much pressure, and I don't feel like I'm the man for it. So that whole, I feel like that I know I'm skipping ahead to like where we name our favorite scenes, but honestly, that was probably my favorite scene. It was just, first of all, it started out, funny, like, oh, they're going through couples counseling. It was hilarious. But then it actually turned into a serious dialogue where you're able to see both of the characters' mental state at that point and how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Wow, there is no energy in here anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to keep the energy up. I mean,
where the energy go?
I don't want to go straight to like, hey, what's everyone's favorite episode? We're only like, scene. We're only like 12 minutes in.
Yeah.
What I also was interesting was.
Sorry, go on. No. You go ahead, because I was about to say that I don't want to go like completely to like the end scene.
Okay, so I was going to talk about that a little bit. I was going to talk about the characters they bring in.
All right, you go ahead.
So they bring in the character I referenced in the comics that gave John Walker his power, the Power Broker, and essentially those are the guys in charge of like the superhero serum now.
Right.
So I thought that was a really interesting way of introducing them. And it's interesting because we have 3 enemy groups. We have that I'm gonna call them Solo Girls group. I don't know the name of them. The mask people.
Yeah.
Then we have
super
Zemo
soldiers.
we have so we have the Freedom Terrorists. Then we have Zemo and Hydra, and then we have the Power Broker and his group. And then we could also have John Walker. He could be. I have a theory about like he could actually be in leagues with like the Flag Smashers or some other group. That's like. Because I thought it was a bit odd that they got right to where Bucky and Winter Soldier... Bucky, he is the Winter Soldier, but where Bucky and Falcon were.
Yeah, and also, one other thing about John Walker is that, like I said before, and like you said, Scott, that he was like a fraud, that he's like... making up all these like war medals and all that. I feel like he would jeopardize like a mission or so. Like if they're about to like take down like the big bad of like whoever's behind everything, that he would make sure that he would have the credit and maybe mess something up there. He would jeopardize like the whole mission just so that he could be like, yo, I took him down. Even if it took like taking down Bucky or Falcon or both of them, he could be a serious problem. Like technically he is an ally, but he's also very, very, very dodgy. And I also love the politics behind the blip, where as this whole the masked group of super soldiers believed in like. Everything was better before the blip. Once half the population was destroyed and all that, because we did see that there were pros for it, and there was a reason behind it, and it just seemed like with 50% of the population gone, the government's basically the whole world could have been unified in that. Like, an alien force outside of this literally attacked us, and now we have to get over it. And there's only 50% people. That puts 7 billion up to down back to 3.5 billion. A whole lot of people, a whole lot less people to disagree with, and a whole lot more people to unify with. So the world could have been, more unified than anything in that 5-year time period. And once the blip came back, then everything started going back to the way they were, and all of that. And this group doesn't like that. They see it Thanos' way, is that the world and even the universe should have changed by wiping out half of the people that existed in it.
And this is and this kind of reminds me of the whole mentality of survival of the fittest, where you get this group of people, they get this drug that enhances their strength, and essentially they're going to take over. And they're going to do it their way, and they're going to be sure that they're the ones in charge.
Exactly.
Which isn't really a new concept.
Exactly. And they're taking vaccines for different things. It's a whole mess. But people around them seem like they. Give me one moment. You two continue this conversation.
So, Alpha, what were your opinions on it? You've been a little quiet today.
Well, I don't really honestly have much to say about it, because I was liking the whole highway truck fight until Walker showed up and ruined the whole thing. Yeah, things were better off without. They were doing just fine without them. Yep. And I knew right from the start that that girl inside the truck wasn't actually a hostage. As soon as I saw her smirk, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I kind of figured they were gonna pull something like that. Like she was gonna be a mutant or something like that. Like she was gonna have something like a power or something. So why don't you Walker? No, you're fine.
Well, what I want to know is how are those super soldiers able to unfreeze themselves if they were dead for a long time, or these are just new super soldiers that we didn't see?
I feel like they're new.
I think. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like they got the serum somewhere.
Well, that'd be the power broker. That's where they come in, because he's in control of it for some reason.
Well, I mean that'll be impossible because most of the people who ever knew the recipe to super soldier serum is dead.
Well, first of all, there's also writing it down, and also confidential files. It could have been passed down in multiple ways, and it could have been held a secret for a very, very, very long time.
But I'm sorry.
Even so, Zemo was able to replicate it, didn't he? Because those other super soldiers from that one movie, Captain America: Civil War, weren't they newer? I feel like they were.
They were.
Yeah, so it's not impossible to get that information to replicate or recreate this this serum. Zemo did it. Killed all the super soldiers. Would have been a great small army because there was a good 8 of them in there. But go ahead, I guess kill them. I guess, but
and to Alpha's point, I don't think it's the original one that Steve Rogers has. I think it's a copy or a version of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the exact same one, but I think it's a cheap imitation that probably went through a trial and error point. Although I am shocked that with the introduction of the character of Isaiah and who he is, I am shocked that they had another super soldier like him. I was surprised at how quickly they got that done, how quickly they got a formula going, and how quickly they're ready to use more and more super soldiers.
The other part about that scene. Well, here's my thing. My thing is, I usually don't like putting politics into things and all that. But to be honest with you, media is a way to express oneself and also to express, different things you want other people heard. Seeing, I feel like that scene kind of represented how like certain like minority groups kind of feel in America, that like they're not really appreciated and all that. And even showed like even Sam was like, dude, you seriously telling me that there was a black super soldier and no one knew? Everyone knows about Captain America, but no one knew about Black Captain America. Yeah,
I don't know what we're gonna have to call him. We're gonna have to figure out a name for him, because it's a really cool character.
Perhaps.
That like
the Dark Soldier.
Alpha's black, so it's okay if he says that.
Yeah. Alpha. Every time that like someone calls me racist, I say I have a black friend, I'm referring to Alpha. But no. It just seemed like I usually don't like putting politics into like such things like movies and shows and all that. But honestly, I actually did like this touch where it actually showed there was like multiple scenes from Baltimore,
Absolutely.
Maryland, that was like, this is how people are treated. Number one, they're not appreciated because no one knew about Black Captain America. Then all of a sudden, the police officers saw a confrontation between a black man and some white guy, and they go up to the white guy, is like, yo, is this guy bothering you? I want his ID.
Yeah.
It's able to show you. It's still a good show, and I don't think it's shoving it down your throat. It's just kind of subtly showing you, like, yo, this is how certain minority groups get treated. I'm not saying ACAB at all. Listen, there's good cops. I'm not saying all of them are bad. I'm not saying all of them are good. I'm just saying, there's racism still exists, and that's just
absolutely.
Unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to kill that. But it's just we could try.
Absolutely, and we should never stop trying. It's interesting you mention. I believe one of the reasons why they picked Isaiah, because a lot of the times back in like the 1950s, they used minorities to test on. They had like this whole thing about like they actually gave a black community smallpox to see what would happen. It was very tragic, a very dark and depressing story, and I believe it actually happened in Baltimore.
Yeah, and also, if you really want to even look at it, like AIDS was like huge, more into like black people and homosexuals. That could have been like a government thing too.
Absolutely.
Either like as a test or as like we need to get rid of, so many like whatever. It could be so many evil things. So I could see exactly like what you're saying, and it's even like presented itself in that type of disease. So yeah, it's crazy, but that's just the harsh reality we live in.
Jesus wanted us to be together, yet here we are screwing up his plans.
I agree with that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So let's go into our favorite scene. So Tristan, you kind of said the scene where they were doing therapy.
Yeah, I think it was perfect all around because it had some humor and then it turned serious real quick, and it was great all around.
Yeah, I agree. That was a perfect scene, especially when Bucky. Oh, you did it perfectly. I cannot do any. You said it perfectly, so there's nothing else I can add to it. For me,
same here.
My favorite scene was the scene where John walks out and does like that interview, and I'm thinking, boy, this was ripped right out of the comic. That one I mentioned, 333, I believe.
Right.
And he does like this interview. Now, originally though, in the interview, he was Super Patriot, but now he was Captain America. So that was interesting.
Very interesting.
But it definitely is involved. It's definitely his character, because he was always trying to like defame Captain America. He was always trying to be the better version. It was fascinating. his arc in the comics, and this was back in like the 80s too, so it's pretty recent in terms of other stuff. But I'm glad they're doing it still.
I'm glad that they're ripping some things from the comics, like, you know, using it as a guideline, because I feel like Star Wars screwed up in that way.
Yeah,
freaking like Kathleen Kennedy was like, we don't have enough source material to pull from.
And then just George Lucas opens up like this huge bookcase of all the Legends books, and he's like, Yeah,
there was so much. It was bad. I was literally having a conversation about it earlier, how bad the prequels, so not the prequels, the sequels were. Also a little bit about the prequels as well. The only Actually, that's its own topic. I'm going to stay on whatever topic.
A whole other podcast, man. A whole other
podcast. We might open up Resistance Radio again just so that I could complain about Anakin in the prequels.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'd love to hear that. I would absolutely love to hear that.
Oh man, yeah. I have to figure out what I'm doing with that podcast, because we stopped at episode 16 and we uploaded like early February last time, and that was it.
So Alpha, what was your favorite scene?
Well, I would have to say like from when they went to Baltimore to right down to the therapy thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like those are my favorite scenes, because like it showed us, for one, it showed us a different another Winter Soldier that nobody knew about. Well, and secondly, that whole serious scene between Bucky and Sam, that was also a good scene. Like I said before, I was going to say the highway truck fight was going to be my favorite scene until like Walker came in and just ruined the whole thing.
I want to say one thing about that scene, but go on.
Go ahead.
Oh, it was.
Go ahead.
So I love the realisticness of that scene. So like the fight gets ugly. Like you could sit there and think like there's like certain things that are going to be choreographed. Yeah, I'm saying the right thing. Choreographed.
Yeah, you are. Yep.
And it was this complete chaos, and it was like an actual like. I don't want to say it was like an actual real fight, because there's not really like, you're not going to see an actual street fight with like a bunch of like Winter Soldiers, super soldiers, and some dude with wings, high speed on like trucks or whatever. But like in that scenario,
every day in the streets of Baltimore, man.
but in that scenario,
a man in dark blue spandex.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, you might see that if you look hard enough. But anyway.
That's true.
But no, it was just for that scenario, it just seemed a lot more like realistic. Like there was a point where it looked like for example, there was a point where it looked like that Falcon was going to swoop in and kick that one guy off that was kicking Bucky from underneath the truck, and then all of a sudden, the one truck started like swerving so that to block Falcon from doing that, and it was just like. The fight wasn't predictable. It just for me, it just put like a sense of realism in there. The choreography in there did not really seem too much like choreography, and that was a good thing in this case. It just seemed like absolute chaos, that no one had any control over the situation at all.
I'd have to say. Go ahead, Alpha. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's not forget the super soldier serum enhances a person's physical and mental body and mind.
Of course.
Makes them smarter, faster, and stronger than any known human, and they can just blend in with society real quick. They Bucky explained all this during in Civil War. Explained all this about their version of super soldier serum. Yeah, and they as you saw they did smart things in that one fight thing, swerving the truck, and taking them out one by one, separating them. Yep, that was smart tactical planning.
It was. It just seemed like. For me, it just seemed more realistic. Whereas, I'm not doubting, the past fight scenes we've had in past movies and all that. They were great. but it was just like this one had a sense of realism to me. And I get exactly where Alpha was coming from, is that they had like an advanced sense of like the situation. But yeah, I'm sorry, Scott, you go ahead.
But but like as I was saying, God, I had a brain fart. I forgot what I was about to say. Okay, I was talking about the super soldier serum and the super soldier serum, the mental and physical ability. Yes, yeah. So like, they do increase the smartness in their brains, and it's to more IQ involved. Because any other time you would because if you were some part-time street thugs trying to make a name for themselves, the fight will go a different way.
Right.
But these were like they had the super soldier serum inside of them, and that made them smarter how they planned it.
And to that point, I was going to say the villains in this show, and this is in terms of a lot of superhero movies I've seen in a lot of movies in general. These guys were really smart. They weren't a bunch of idiots. Like when the Power Brokers guys came in, they just shot the guy. They didn't like try to fight him. Like, oh, you have to take this big man. They weren't. They're like, nah, let's just shoot him. And like the other, like to Alpha's credit, he was saying, they broke him up, and they did that, and they broke him, apart, and they took him on one by one. They did smart things. So kudos. Some smart villains for once.
Yeah, I respect that one. I respect that one super soldier trying to stay behind and buy enough time, but like that time lasted for all of 1 second.
Seconds.
1 second. No, it was 1 second.
Just about.
Yeah, just because you have the super soldier serum inside of you does not make you bulletproof. It does not make you bulletproof. Like we all seen Captain America get shot.
Right.
Yeah. And like to be honest, if I was in his position, I would have carried a gun with me. Like I wouldn't care. I would have to carry a gun or a rocket launcher. Seeing how many soldiers were there.
Yeah.
Rocket launcher. Like okay, I see how many y'all. I'm gonna grab a rocket launcher and pew.
I think the super soldier serum is just like a lot of testosterone and a lot of like.
Yeah, it does put a lot of stress on.
Just so many steroids shoved into one
shot.
Yeah,
it's super steroids with like I don't know what they're called. They're like neurogenics or something like that. You ever get like supplements and there's like they give you like an ad for like so many things like, oh, this will boost your testosterone. Oh, this will boost this. This will boost that.
Oh yeah.
There was like a supplement.
Kids.
Yeah, they're
all fake.
There was a supplement that enhances your brain activity or whatever. So I feel like it's just like a bunch of testosterone and like brain supplements all forced into one into like a super shot. And that's what.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
No.
You saying something?
You go ahead. I was just making a dumb joke about how.
Okay.
No, my theory is the the super soldier serum is the worms that Fry ate in Futurama that like made him really strong and made him intelligent. I think that's what they're going for.
Oh man!
Can you imagine that? Oh, that'd be hysterical.
But like, let's not forget this. This was like a copy of the super soldier serum that they had. It wasn't the original because as we saw, like when Hydra was trying to like create the Winter Soldier, it put a lot of stress to put that super soldier serum inside of him, and it's plus with that cybernetic arm, and they had to brainwash his mind a lot and like mentally break him in order to finally get control of him, while also making him have control of his super soldier powers, and it puts a lot of stress. And these guys, I don't believe they've been through the stuff Bucky has to have that constant control over all that, because like. In my opinion, they just had it right off the bat. So I bet it does put a lot of stress on the mind if you don't like have better control over it.
Right.
Well, remember
because they were throwing some serious punches. All right.
Remember, there's certain rules with the superhero serum or super soldier serum. Like you can't get drunk with it. You can't do certain things. That was in the first movie. and it'd be interesting to see if they bring that back up.
Yeah, like I said, like that. The original one. That was the original serum that Captain America got. Like this new one. This new one probably has different types of different type of rules. Like you can't get drunk, but be prepared for the backlash you're going to get or something like that.
Right.
Like this certain thing can break the entire serum inside of you apart, and you won't be able to have these powers anymore.
I feel like they just didn't have the capability of getting drunk. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
They just told them that they couldn't like drink.
You know, I don't think they had the ability to get drunk because on fire, you'd have to drink like so much alcohol, it'd probably kill you. That's probably the whole reason why they said he can't get drunk, because he was drinking wine in the one scene. I think that's why. I think it like speeds up your metabolism to like high.
Yeah, or it just processes it really quickly. Which I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Like if you couldn't get drunk, the only type of alcohol I would drink is wine. I'll tell you that right now, because it tastes good. I'm just saying, like.
No, you're not wrong.
I'm just saying, I would be drinking no beer if I couldn't. You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta select.
Like some
21 when you drink, kids.
Yeah, like yeah. Like, listen, if you're under 21, don't take my advice. But over 21, you go right ahead, Chief. Like, you can get a good beer, but let me tell you, I'll take wine over beer any day. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a good wine anyway, not a super dry one. But anyway, the point is, if I was a super soldier and I couldn't get drunk, I'd still drink wine.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Tristan is our wine connoisseur. So, like, if we need some advice on old wine, we'll go to him.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right, gentlemen, anything else you guys want to add to the podcast?
Side note to the whole like getting drunk thing. I'm going to have to take us to a different universe, straight into the DC universe, because the Flash also had something like that, because he couldn't get drunk no matter how many like shots he drank.
Yeah, he had a high metabolism. I remember when I was watching the Flash freaking TV series, and they were saying that he could eat all this, like he needs to eat so much just so he doesn't wither away and die. And I was like, dude, I wish he was eating twice more than me, and he wasn't gaining a pound. It was. It pissed me off.
I wish I was struck by lightning, and then like I can eat whatever I want and drink whatever I want.
Bro, I wish if you fast for like 24 hours, you'd be skinny. You know what I mean?
I don't know what.
Oh man,
you'd probably be skinnier than a pencil.
It's interesting because in the comics, and I think it's on the movies and TV shows, he's like constantly snacking too, so it's really funny.
Oh man!
Like chewing, like eating like a protein bar or something. It's like, yeah, man, I gotta keep up my metabolism of mine.
Oh man, yeah, that low key pissed me off when they were like, "Yo, you need to eat so much so you don't die or whatever." I'm like, dude, I wish I don't even need the super speed. I don't even need all that. I don't need the time traveling powers. I don't need all that. I just need to consume like. Whatever I want, and without gaining anything. That's all. But no, here I am, stuck in this mortal body.
And here I am, stuck with like three or five Krabby Patties of a sized belly.
Sure. Anyway.
Sure. Great thing to end on.
Yeah, so I think that's about it for the podcast. Does anyone else have anything?
No, we'll see you guys next Friday for the next episode.
Yeah.
Hope you're all staying safe in this crazy time.
Yeah.
Staying healthy, because if you're healthy, you're safe.
Sure, not always true, but sure, stay healthy.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, we'll try to keep this uploaded on the Saturday after the episode. We'll try to get it out. I'm going to decide right now, right here and right now, 7 o'clock, as 7 a.m. 7 a.m. This thing will premiere every Saturday until the show is ended, and then we will move on to season 4 of our podcast, which is, I don't really know what that's going to be. So, if you want to follow the YouTube channel, if you want to like give a like, if you like the podcast, please, drop a like. It really does help us a lot. Maybe consider subscribing. We also have other content like gaming videos. We have solo videos. We have I usually do like horror thing on like Thursdays. Jordan,
it's real freaky, people.
Yeah,
I was screaming last night watching one of them. If y'all love horror, you should watch one.
Jordan is supposed to upload on Tuesdays, but he's still trying to get his equipment together. But at some point, he's going to upload on Tuesdays. And we have a group video coming out every Wednesday. This upcoming Wednesday is just is a GTA video, part of our heist series, which I think is about to be 8 or 9 episodes long. This is going to be episode 6. It's not really like a storyline. It's just, if you want to watch them in order, that's fine, but it's not really required.
And if you guys have any ideas for videos, leave them in the comments section below.
Of course. Yes, we also have another podcast that we want to start back up, Resistance Radio. If you want, us to cover up like other topics that are like nerdy stuff that's not a running TV show like Falcon the Winter Soldier, go ahead and leave it in the comments. We'll look into it, and yeah.
It's too bad Sleeping Beauty couldn't be here to share this moment with us.
I wasn't gonna throw shade.
Jordan had a shit.
I wasn't gonna throw shade. Listen, hey, you need to calm down. I wasn't gonna throw shade. Yeah, so like the final plugins, of course, I'm going to give it to our guest real quick, Alpha Scorch 62. His link will be up on screen and also in the description below. He has a YouTube channel. He does like no commentary gameplay videos and then some other like music montages and all that. Jordan streams time to time on twitch.tv/hotpocket61. I was about to say Hot Pocket Your King and like mix our Twitch names up there for a second, but I'm so glad I didn't screw that up. I probably shouldn't have mentioned I was about to screw it up. But anyway, I also stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/ApolloYourKing. And
same here at some points, but I can't save my videos.
That's the final plugins. I mean, we would shout out Scott if he had a YouTube channel, but he's kind of like become a part of ours. So
yeah,
I've kind of hijacked this YouTube page.
Like we said before, he's our wild card.
He's the whole war chief. I don't want to hear it. He came in. He came in like the damn manager. He was like, "Yo, listen, we gotta do." He gave us a whole freaking list of things that we gotta do.
I did. I got a whole paragraph. I can still add more to my research.
Bro, you go ahead. We can talk about it, all that stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. Consider liking, consider following. We got so much like content that we could push out for different audiences and all that. But yeah, thank you for listening to the podcast, and we will see you next Saturday, hopefully.